Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today, I wanted to make a video about the top 10 best cars for the snow in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now within this list, we're going to have some cars that are going to be fun to drift around in the snow, some cars that are going to be really good to go really fast in the snow, and then most of them are just going to be cars that perform relatively well in the snow. Like they don't slide around a lot, and you know, they generally have pretty good grip, and you could potentially do some off-roading in a few of them too. Anyway guys, let's start off with number 10. Alright guys, at number 10 we have the ENUS ZR350 available from Southern San Andreas Super Autos. This thing is going to be a really fun car to drift around in the snow. Now the ZR350, it's just a great car in general. I love this thing. One of my favorite cars from the Tuners DLC. And it's also a pretty cool drift car. Now it does actually handle decently well in the snow, however if you do want to drift it, you of course can. And when you do drift it, it drifts pretty nicely. I mean, the snow can pretty much make anything drift reasonably well, but this thing especially, I find, is pretty dang fun to use in the snow. I've been driving it around a little bit today since the snow has come out, and I can honestly say I've been enjoying myself quite a bit. Anyway guys, not too much more to say about this thing really. It's just a fun car to, you know, mess around, slide around in the snow with. It's good for that. There's a few other cars you could use instead of this thing obviously, but you know, I decided to pick this thing for the list. Anyway guys, let's move right into number 9. Alright guys, and at number 9 we have the Pagani Ignis. Of course this thing is brand new in GTA Online, and I figured it's a good car to add to the list. This thing is all-wheel drive, so it should handle pretty well in the snow. It's got a lot of power, and like I said before, it is 4-wheel drive, so it's going to glide through the snow, and it's going to get you through the snow pretty quickly, and it's going to handle pretty well doing it. So I figured it would be a pretty good car to put on the list. Through the corners, this thing does have pretty good grip, even with the snow on the ground, which is, of course, you know, what you're going to want, especially if you're trying to get somewhere quickly, you know, while the weather is like it is in GTA. Anyway guys, the Ignis is a great car for this. It's available on Legendary Motorsport if you do want to pick one up. I would highly recommend it, no matter what. Even if it's not for just the snow, it is a great car nonetheless. Anyway guys, on to number 8. Alright guys, and next up we have the Vapid Contender. This thing is an awesome truck. It's actually technically an SUV in Grand Theft Auto Online. However, it is still a truck if you ask pretty much anyone on Earth, I think. The Contender is a very quick vehicle. It was actually the fastest vehicle in the SUVs category for a number of years. Nowadays, it is not anymore. However, it is still a great handling truck and a great performing truck, especially in the snow. The tail end does slide out on occasion, but it's not really uncontrollable or anything like that. There's not really anything wrong with this truck when, especially when it snows in GTA. This is a truck that I always find myself pulling out and actually taking for a spin. Not only is it really good to handle the snow, it can also take a bit of a beating. You can hit cars with it and stuff like that, get them out of your way if you need to. Overall, it's just a really good truck. And as you guys can see right now, it has absolutely no problem going off-road. Even in the snow, it can still climb hills that are, you know, almost vertical. It's a great truck. I would highly recommend that everybody picks this thing up. It only costs $250,000, and it is available off of Southern San Andreas Super Autos. Anyway guys, let's move on to number 7. Alright guys, and at number 7 we have the brand new Galavanter Baller St. Now this thing is actually free right now until December 29th, so I would highly recommend going and picking this thing up because it's literally free, so you might as well get this thing. It looks awesome, it has a lot of customizability, it's a great vehicle. And not only all of that, but it also handles and performs very well in the slippery winter conditions of GTA Online right now. This thing can carve through like any road. I was so impressed when I was actually driving it, doing my review for it after I customized it, that I decided that it should be on this list. This thing actually pretty much inspired me to make this list in general. Not that it's the best vehicle, but I was just thinking like, man, this thing is so damn good. I think I've got to let people know about it. So here we are. Obviously, as you guys can see, this thing is making quick work of these mountain roads that are covered in snow right now. Most cars in GTA, you know, will not have that big of an issue with it, but this thing like excels in these snowy conditions. It is a very good car for this sort of thing. I'm very impressed, and like I said, it is of course free right now. So you guys, if you're watching this video right now, can go out and pick one of these things up for absolutely no cost to you. You can customize it, make it look exactly how you want to, and it can turn out, you know, looking something like mine does, or you could go crazy with it. You could do whatever you want to it. It is a great car, and you can get it for virtually no cost, except for the cost of, you know, the upgrades that you choose to do to it. But no matter what, guys, it is a really good performer in the snow in GTA. That's it for this one. Let's move on to number 6. Alright guys, and next up we have the Benevolence Dubsta 6x6. Obviously this thing is 6-wheel drive. It's not really a shock why it's on this list. It also only costs $249,000 off of Warstock cash and carry. I would highly recommend that everybody picks this thing up for this winter in GTA. And not only that, but it is a great vehicle regardless of what the weather in GTA is doing. Everybody should own a Dubsta 6x6. This thing is so sick. So guys, the Dubsta 6x6 is a very, very good vehicle, especially in the wintertime. This thing is also, as far as drifting goes, the Dubsta 6x6 is actually one of the better drift vehicles in all of GTA, especially in the snow. This thing's kind of nuts in the snow. I have a lot of fun with this thing. It has a lot less grip than you would expect, but it can drift like you also would not expect. It's kind of a weird vehicle like that. However, it is also a very, very capable off-road vehicle. As you guys can see, we are just going to absolutely sail up this hill right here. The 6-wheel drive is very, very nice for climbing things in GTA. It makes this, you know, not very hard work. Now, yes, there are other vehicles that could climb that same slope, but I think the 6x6 is just a special vehicle, and I think it just deserves a lot more appreciation and attention in GTA Online, which I am trying to give it. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it for number 6. Let's move on to number 5. Alright guys, at number 5 we have the Tropos Rally. This thing is a very, very underrated and surprising car for the winter in GTA. It is only rear wheel drive, which is a bit of a shock that it's this high on the list, but trust me when I say it, this thing is a very capable winter vehicle. It does have extremely wide tires in the rear of the car, which allow it to grip up really well. But as you guys can see, this thing absolutely sails. Doesn't matter that there's snow on the ground or whatever, and it's rear wheel drive, this thing can just carve this stuff up. It is crazy how good this car actually is in the snow. I would highly recommend that you guys pick this thing up. Obviously, the Galavanter Baller St is free right now, and it is a great winter vehicle. But if you guys are looking for something truly great at driving in the winter, and honestly, even when it's not winter in GTA, the Tropos Rally is a good car to pick up. This thing is wicked. It is so underappreciated in the game too. I definitely think it deserves a lot more attention. Would highly, highly recommend checking this thing out. It is available on Southern San Andreas Super Autos for, I believe, around $820,000. Anyway guys, that's it for number 5. Let's move on to number 4. Alright guys, at number 4 we have the Canis Camacho. This thing is a very, very capable off-road vehicle at the best of times, and in the winter it is even better. I swear there's something about the snow with this thing that just makes it just that little bit better, and it does some crazy stuff at the best of times, but in the snow it's just insane. As you guys can see, we are going to just climb this mountain, and it is absolutely like it's nothing for the Camacho, going almost vertical. This thing does not care. I've got off-road tires equipped on this thing, which do actually tend to help in the snow, and obviously with off-roading, I mean, they're off-road tires, it makes sense, right? This thing just, it doesn't care. You can pretty much climb Mount Chiliad completely vertical with this thing. It's an insane vehicle, and it is so good in the snow in GTA. You guys have got to check this thing out if you've got some extra money lying around, or if you already have one of these. I would definitely recommend taking it out and just giving it a try in the snow. It is a very, very capable vehicle, that is for sure. Also, it has an absolute ton of customization that you can do to it, and it's available on Southern San Andreas Super Autos for relatively cheap. I want to say somewhere around $1 million, which I know is not cheap for everybody, but you know, for quite a few players, $1 million is not, you know, too much money. Anyway guys, I think that is pretty much it for number 4. Let's move right into number 3. Alright guys, starting off the top 3, very, very strong, we have the Vapid Caracara 4x4. This truck is very impressive. It is very similar to the Camacho. It is just a little bit better, I find, in the snow and in general than the Camacho, but both are very, very comparable. This truck is fast as ever. It is a great, great truck in GTA, and it is very, very good at off-roading in the snow, and just, of course, dealing with the snow in general. It is 4x4, so of course it does have, you know, 4-wheel drive all the time, which is very, very nice. But as you guys can see, it just absolutely carves up this snowy dirt road. Has not a problem in the world. You can take this thing, you know, up pretty much any slope. Like I said with the Camacho, where you can pretty much climb Mount Chiliad vertically, this thing will do the exact same thing. It is wicked. It is so impressive. I would highly recommend that everybody buys a Caracara in GTA. It is a great truck. There's nothing wrong with this thing. It is pretty much as perfect as it gets. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it for number 3. Let's move into the top 2. Alright guys, at number 2 we have the Nightshark. Now the Nightshark is the fastest, most heavily armored vehicle in Grand Theft Auto Online. So because it is pretty heavy, it tends to do really, really well in the snow. This thing is absolutely glued to the road. It is so hard to get this thing to spin out in the snow in GTA. It is actually crazy how much grip this thing has. You can absolutely fly through these corners and you will make it around every single one of them without spinning out. The Nightshark is just so good. It's so good. In general, I think that everybody should own a Nightshark in GTA. It is a great vehicle. You know, it's got the front mounted machine guns. It's heavily armored. One of the most heavily armored vehicles in the entire game. It's fast. It's got very good protection for its passengers with the window plating that you can put onto it. There is nothing to complain about with the Nightshark. It is a perfect vehicle, and it certainly is also perfect for the snow in GTA. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it for number 2. Let's move right into number 1. Alright guys, and the best vehicle for the snow in GTA is of course the HVY Insurgent. This is one of my favorite vehicles in Grand Theft Auto Online. It is so versatile and it is so good at so many things. Of course, driving in the snow is one of the things that it is extremely good at. This thing handles very well at the best of times, and in the snow it is no exception to that. It is an incredible vehicle. Similar to the Contender and the Nightshark that were also on this list, it is pretty darn fast and it can be used as an absolute battering ram. If there's something in your way and you want it out of your way, you can use the Insurgent to get it there. This thing goes for $675,000 on Warstock cash and carry, and it is worth every single penny. I would highly recommend that you go out and pick up an Insurgent, not only just for the winter time in GTA, but also just for in general. This thing is amazing. It is such a good vehicle. I think that absolutely everybody should own one of these. There's no reason not to. You know, if you don't have very much money or whatever, it's still gonna save you some money in the long run, and the Insurgent can actually make you money in the long run because you can use it at missions and stuff like that, and you will actually end up making money with it. It is a great tool to have in GTA. You can pretty much go anywhere with just the Insurgent alone. You don't need a helicopter, you don't need a plane. You can do pretty much whatever you want with the Insurgent and you will be fine every single time. Anyway guys, that's it for my top 10 best vehicles for the snow in Grand Theft Auto Online. Let me know what you thought of my list in the comments down below. Tell me any vehicles that you feel like I missed, and maybe I will make a part 2 to this if you guys want me to. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, if you learned something, a like is always appreciated. If not, dislike. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.